and finally dared to meet Noah's gaze. For a man supposedly as dedicated to his medical career as she was to hers, he looked awfully pleased about this unexpected bump in the road. Of course, he was just a couple of months away from launching his career, while she still had the long years of an internship and residency to complete. "Wipe that smile off your face," she instructed him firmly. "This is not good news." His smile only spread, revealing that appealing dimple that had also sucked her right in. "It's the best possible news," he contradicted. "Noah, you may see the light at the end of the tunnel, but be real. You'll finish your residency at the end of June, and you still have to decide where you want to go into practice and get established. I haven't even started my internship. We might not even be living in the same city a few months from now. A baby doesn't fit into the plan." "You know what they say," he began. "Don't you dare remind me that God laughs while we're making plans." She frowned for emphasis as she passed him on her way into the bedroom, where she sank down on the side of the bed. Maybe if she sat for a minute, she could think. Thinking clearly had always been her best trait. She'd known what she'd wanted for her life by her teens. After spending a summer volunteering in a doctor's office in a medically underserved community in Appalachia and seeing reports about villages in third-world countries that were even worse off, she'd found her calling. Her reward had been the healthy children who'd clustered around her at the end of the summer to say goodbye, the moms who'd hugged her with tears in their eyes. Just like her ambitious mother, Abby O'Brien Winters Riley, Caitlin had thought her future through very carefully. There would be college, medical school, an internship, and residency. Then she'd use all that knowledge to help children in parts of the world where medical help was severely lacking. She'd make a difference, just like everyone else in her family had in their own way. This was her way to shine, to live up to all those family expectations, and at the same time do the kind of meaningful work she'd been born to do. She'd been so focused that she'd managed to complete college in 3 years, then set out to whip through medical school and all of her rotations as fast as they'd allowed her to. Every summer she'd either crammed in more courses or served in another needy community, most recently in Africa with the Red Cross. While Carrie was the social butterfly, Caitlin had been driven, not allowing a single distraction. Not until Noah, anyway. She glanced up at him as he studied her with a worried expression. He was so incredibly gorgeous. It was little wonder that her heart seemed to stop whenever she looked at him. But it wasn't his looks that had made her fall in love. He'd seemed as driven as she was, determined to be the kind of old-fashioned doctor who was more concerned with treating his patients with compassion and dignity than racking up huge bucks on office visits and unnecessary testing. They'd met on her rotation through the family medicine service right after that fateful wedding. She'd been immediately smitten by his dedication, the thoughtful kindness he displayed to everyone from patients to the most inept medical students still struggling to adapt book learning to practical experience. He'd turned her into a better doctor by example, no question about it. He'd suggested she waver from her original intention to focus on pediatrics and steered her into choosing family medicine. He'd helped her see that she could serve even more people with that well-rounded specialty. Until she'd worked with him, she'd understood everything in her textbooks, but she hadn't mastered the instinctive diagnostic skills that made the difference between being competent and excelling. He'd taught her to listen to more than a list of symptoms, to hear what her patients weren't saying, as much as to what they said. By fall, when she'd started her final year of medical school, they were in an exclusive relationship, stealing time to be together whenever they could. With their competing, demanding schedules, those stolen moments had been few and far between. Given the test strip she was holding, they'd been more than sufficient to alter her life, apparently. Noah dropped down beside her now and took her hand in his. "We're going to be okay," he said softly, his warm brown eyes filled with tenderness. When she didn't answer, he touched her chin. "Look at me, Kate." Only after she'd turned her head, fighting tears.